Well, it dawned on me as I was driving down the road. Let me see what was going on. And that I won't be able to do my videos on Sunday, right? We have Sunday. I could wait and watch Oak Grove, but right on top of Oak Grove are the 2-year-old trotting fillies in Northfield. Now, I can wait and do all my videos on Monday, but that's not really fun. So I'm going to do them all today. We'll give you updates on Sunday after Oak Grove, Sunday after Northfield Park, so everybody is updated. But I did want to run through our weekly videos right now. I'm on my way to the Meadows to drive. Time is on my side in Kings County and Blue Ventura, so hopefully we do good there. But it was important to update everybody on how the horses are going and where they're at and what they're doing. Allie's got grit. I'm going to tell you what. Atrant trained very good on Friday. But of the 2-year-olds getting ready to prep for races coming up in the future, both next week or weeks after, I think Allie's got grit, trained as good as any horse in the property. Any horse in our barn, for sure. I thought the horse looked great. 2.6 last half of a minute with him. He's ready to qualify, and he will qualify on Tuesday at the Meadows. Arrowhead Hanover, I made a video this morning about expectations, and, sometimes we all know this time of year, some horses don't reach our expectations. It's disappointing. But then you get the odd horse that exceeds your expectation, and you get that very rare horse that grossly exceeds your expectations. And I would think Arrowhead Hanover, as I was standing in front of the program page on the wall in the paddock of the Meadows yesterday, I looked at the first 2 divisions, went in 55, and I said to myself, I guess this is not a sire stake horse. I don't know if he can trot in 55 right now. No, but he can trot in 54 and 2. That was a hell of a mile from that horse yesterday, and he looked exceptionally good. Definitely, obviously I wanted to win the race, but everybody did. But man, oh man, what kind of mile was that from Arrowhead Hanover? Just a tremendous mile. Atrant trained absolutely great on Friday. We're trying to get her in at the Meadows next week. It's going to be hard. We'll see what we can do. I want to get this filly raced. She is coming along very nicely and prepping very, very well for Lexington 2024. Lily can't get off to a much better start than that. 2 starts, 2 wins. Even the year that Swinging Senorita won it, she was beaten her first race, I think. Hunter drove her. She was 3rd, maybe, in the Meadows that year. And Aunt Lily has just looked amazing since we got her ready and got her qualified. 2 for 2 in her life. I thought she was a little under the weather coming into this week. We did train her just a very slow mile on Friday, and I was interested to see how she was today. Come out of the training mile good, ate all her breakfast, sharp as a tack on the track, no mucus in her nose. Looks like green lights across the board for Aunt Lily Sunday night at Northfield Park. Bluebird Tuxedo Hill, a very odd and rare look at how you used to get horses ready. The old days, a lot of people used to get them ready, go mile 2.7, 2.8, bring them to the track, put them behind the gate, race them until they get tight. Probably one of my least favorite things to do, and something I never ever do. But in this case, with a lack of really good schooling opportunities, qualifiers, or training partners, we opted to go that route with Bluebird Tuxedo Hill. He was in 2.8, then he qualified in 2.7, then he trotted in 2.4. I expect a mile in 2.3 on Wednesday with him, but again, he's just getting there, right? And as I said, not my preferred type of training method for 2-year-olds in any way, shape, or form, but as I like to say sometimes, we're playing the hand we were dealt with Bluebird Tuxedo Hill. Blue Ventura has had a great start. We did change his shoes for today. I'm very optimistic and hopeful to see him race this afternoon at Meadows. Cadeau trained great leading up to his start in the Next Generation, and that's how he got his start in the Next Generation. I think you're going to see him improve, and we dropped him into the Buckeye, his first stake race of the year, just to see how he'd be. A little softer landing for him. He should do very well in there. Captain Incredible training down very good from what I've been told in Ontario. Harry would have hit him over to Mohawk today. I'm interested to see how he is. I haven't heard from Amy, Harry, Nellie, or anybody in Ontario yet. but I know that he was getting very, very close to going. If I'm reading between the lines, I think Harry's probably been in 2-3 or 2-4 with him, and they were very happy with the way Captain Incredible looked. Century Legion, a little flatter than I'd like to see him last night, but it was a decent first stake race for him. I think he'll excel a little bit more. We get him on a smaller venue like Georgian, like Grand River this year. There's a good horse in there. When are we going to see it again? When are we going to see more flashes of it? Is he going to be a very good grassroots competitor? I'm not sure. We'll see. I suspect we will. I mean, by all accounts, the horse has got talent. So let's see it. Chicago Hall entered the Lasix program the other day. This was 2 weeks of preparation of getting him to where he was. The qualifier was great. The Tompkin Gears was very disappointing. And then the preparation of his race was even more disappointing. He showed a little blood in training. Obviously did not have time to put him on Lasix. We prepped him as best we could. The veterinarian was on top of everything. And although he did show a little bit of blood in his race, he still raced one heck of a race. 56 and a piece last half. I think 57, 50, 58, something like that. Last quarter in 28-2. And looked very, very good doing it. I suspect the rest of the summer will be better. And I'm very optimistic with what I see coming out of Ontario from Chicago Hall. Cleveland Masha trained good the other day. I watched her train. I thought she trained very good. Really happy with the way she looked. She's only been in maybe 222, 223. So she'll be ready to go in about 2-3 weeks. No, 2-3 weeks. She won't be ready to go until the first week of August at the very earliest. Country Dancing was good in her first start. Very good in her qualifier. Very good in her first start. Then in her second start, left line, at a gear, a little flat. We're working on that. She's going to come back, and Dr. Latessa is going to have a look at her. Before her next stake race. Dancing by Myself is out in the field. I told everybody he was going to be heading out. Probably give him about 6 weeks off and bring him back in. Dancing in My Socks did what he could last night. You know, I keep telling you guys, it's very hard for me to sit here and be angry at a horse that does what they can do. I think he could do a little better, I guess, yes. But asking him to pace more than 56 right now is unfair. That's what he paced. That's what he could go. And that's likely where he'll hang out for a little bit. You might see him drop time a little bit. Very similar to the colt we had last year, Born to Dance. Very similar trajectory. Only we'd like to see him win a couple of races, do some good in the summer. Asking him to do well in the Buckeye would be unfair. It just seems like he's outmatched right now. But he's also a big, giant colt, and I'm hoping that he'll grow into his body and be a better sophomore. Otherwise, this conversation would be much different than it is right now. Fire and Shine is in to go Monday night, 2-hole. I think she'll do well in Northfield on Tuesday. Foxy Seaside is also in one start lifetime, a win in 56, and she's now in the Buckeye Series also, where she should do very well. I think she's picked to win. Freedom Hill is in Sunday night in the Sire Stake race. She is in a good spot, coming in sharper, tighter, and ready to rock. Gaslight Hall, I'm waiting to hear how he did out of Ontario today. I would like to hear about a mile and 15 or 16 with him at the farm, but we'll see. He trained good the other day when I went with him. I was happy to see him go. Gorgeous Package, again, Monday. She's even Monday morning line. You don't see that very often. So she's probably in a softer spot, and a good spot for her. Now she just has to seize the opportunity, so to speak. Grand Old Chap continues to train down. He's been in 250-ish. Probably not going to see him be very effective until September. We're really just putting miles on him in slow training miles right now. We'll clamp down on him probably as we get to the latter part of July. Grand Slam Deal, pretty disappointing race in her last race, but I'm expecting a bounce back mile from her. You know, she's a likable filly. She does her work well. I just want to see her excel in Kentucky. I'll see her when we get to Lexington, but for now, Peter Wren will be driving her in the consolation of the Sire Stakes. Green Glitter is in Wednesday in Philadelphia. My brother Mark will be driving her. A good race from her the other day. I'm expecting her to grow from those last 2 races. She certainly seems like she has lots to offer. Gymboree, I was excited to hear Scotty talk about her last night. He really, really likes Gymboree. She's a likable filly, so I'm interested to see how she does in her next few races. He's a Great Guy is in the sale on Monday. I like the horse. I mean, we're not going to give He's a Great Guy away. I think he's very similar to like a Dancing in My Socks on the pacing side. Big, giant, good-looking colt. Doesn't really have enough to offer to be in the Buckeye, although the difference between Socks and He's a Great Guy in that regard is I think that he'll stay trotting and he'll make a few more waves in the Buckeye division on the smaller surfaces than Socks will in the pacing side. High Hopes trained good on Friday. She will be qualifying Tuesday. I know I talked about giving her time off and turning her out and doing this and doing that, but the way she trained yesterday left me feeling optimistic. So we will qualify her on Tuesday. I don't play nice. Drew the rail Wednesday. I wasn't super pleased with the way he trained yesterday, if I'm going to be completely honest with everybody. A little flat, but again, I think it was a week since he trained hard. There's a little virus in the barn. I know that training mile yesterday will go a long way for him doing better. I just wish he had been a little more effective in his training mile. Like I said, 2.5 last half and 1:02. I just expected a little bit more from this guy. So we'll see how he races on Wednesday. I'm a Trucker, trained in 2:45 yesterday. Jason said he was good. He was happy with him. Somebody said, when will he be ready? He's not going to be ready until, end of August at the earliest. I'm ready too. We'll stay out in the field for another 3-4 weeks, and then we'll bring him back in. Leggy, now Mike had said just hand walk. I think at some point the goal will be to get her out to the field and let her relax. Again, this is a filly that I have earmarked for winter racing, and I'll be interested to see how she heals up and comes back. Joel, one of our partners, said, do you think she's good enough to keep over? 100%. Why? She has never exhibited any reason why we would ever get rid of her. Very nice filly, lots to offer, seems very talented. I like the filly. Let me go to the blue glasses. Better. LT Troubadour, again, a couple of colts trained flat yesterday, and I think, you get a real good look if the horses aren't training. It's much like playing baseball. You got to play all the time, and if you don't, you see a difference. And when it comes to LT Troubadour, I thought he was a little flat yesterday too. We switched his shoes to get around a half. I thought with the aluminums on at the Meadows, he qualified really well. And maybe for Scioto, we'll put those aluminums back on. But to get him around Northfield Park, he needs a little different shoes, so we changed those up. If nothing else, I got to look at where his inferiorities are, where he's a little lacking in his work, and we were able to make some changes. So I think he'll do well on Wednesday, but I wasn't super pleased with the way a couple of the colts trained yesterday. But again, I think it was more that they missed a training trip, maybe even 2, in the middle of summer, and you just can't do that. Manhattan Money yesterday just kind of made a break and wasn't paying attention and went off stride. Yeah, I kind of leaned into him a little bit down the backstretch, but I expect more from this colt. And yesterday, the break was unnecessary. He's not paying attention to his work the way he should. He's just being immature, and he has to understand that that's not acceptable. And I'm sure he'll bounce back fine. This colt will get better and better and better and better and better. Just needs experience. Just needs racing. Melisandre trained good last week, 2:11 on Wednesday. I'm going to bring her to the Meadows, school her in 2:6 or 2:7 on Wednesday. On Tuesday, I've been very happy with the way this filly looked. We are getting into that time now where it's warranted. Hey, Anthony, where's Melisandre? Hey, is she coming? Is she going to race? I can't answer the latter. I can't race. I can't tell you if she's going to race. I can't tell you when she's going to be good. All I can do is continue to put the work into her. She was good the other day. I don't want anybody hearing this and thinking to myself, oh, maybe she's just no good. No. There's a nice filly in there. I just don't want to push when she's not ready. She seems ready right now, so I'm going to push. On Tuesday, I plan on going in 2:6 or 2:7 off the gate with Melisandre. Memento Mori looked great in his last outing. I told somebody last night, the 7-hole, maybe not a horrible spot for Memento Mori to be. Relax. Maybe not the best spot for Memento, or a very good spot for Memento Mori to be. He's outside of his only rival, so Scott can make a decision at the track in the race. Do I keep going to the front, or do I just drive up in behind the World horse? I forget his name, World for something or other. But Memento Mori, I think, is in a good spot from the outside. Those two colts, there was the horse who was second to Memento Mori the other day. I can't think of his name, but those two colts look like they're a little bit of a layover in that crew. So if you have two horses that are head and shoulders above the rest, and you're leaving outside of your only rival, for the most part, and again, I don't want you to read into this, and it's not meant as an arrogant statement. When I look at the two divisions, the two weeks of eliminations, it seemed to me that the horse that Andy Miller and Julie have now, and there's an aspect also, trainer change on that colt. That colt and Memento Mori look like the best two. So does Scotty want to continue on to the front, or does he just want to dump him in the 2-hole? Either way, that will be fine, I'm sure. But being to the right of that horse might actually be better than being to the left of him actually on Sunday. Mountaineer Prince is at Northfield right now. I'll come back to the barn tomorrow and jog him on Sunday. And Monday, probably, you know what? I might actually train him tomorrow. Because if he trains okay, I might bring him to the meadows. There is a spot left on the trailer and school him off the gate. Or I may do it on Thursday from Northfield Park. I just want to see what is going on with this horse and get his attitude in check. He's never had a bad attitude, but he can sulk sometimes. And I know that Donnie's trying his best to get him around and be nice to him, but I think it's time maybe we just drop the hammer on Mountaineer Prince and have him screwed down a little bit tighter as we go to those little bull rinks in the Fair Circuit in Michigan. So I expect a lot more from this colt. Very disappointed with the way he started the season, and hopefully we can nip that in the bud and get him back on the rails as we head into the middle of July. My Wicked Heart, I know I told everybody we're going to put her in the sale, I watched her train the other day. I thought she trained better, and I'm more apt to say, okay, show me. And if she's no good on Sunday or Monday, whenever that race is, we can at that point put her on gate if we want, or we can race her somewhere and put her on the next preferred sale. I just don't think there was a reason to move her this second. I liked what I saw on the training mile the other day, so I'm interested to see how she's going to do in her next race. Never Lose Felix is in the field. I'm going to give him a full 2 months. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I am. He's a big growthy colt that didn't start off that way, so he's put a lot of girth on. He's put a lot of length and size and height on. I'm more apt to let him grow up, fill out, and see what happens with Never Lose Felix after that. I'm interested. Disappointed that it didn't work out this year for us with him, but interested to see what the rest of his 2-year-old season is going to look like. Is he going to race in the winter? What's he going to look like as a sophomore? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Oh, he'll know, another big surprise. Now, I'm certainly not going to put her in the same category as Arrowhead Hanover or Gorgeous Package, but expectations were tempered throughout the winter with this filly, and now when I saw her at the fair the other day, it's really hard to extrapolate data from such a slow mile on a bull ring and then say, when I say bull ring, I just mean like a deep farm track type thing. It's hard for me to say, yeah, don't worry about that 2.8. That's actually probably 58. I can't do that, right? It's hard to do. She still has to go out and pour the speed on that track. But by all accounts, a good qualifier, she went 2.3 at the Meadows, which was what she was ready to go. And then that mile in 2.8 and the way she did it the other day, dispatched a horse that had already qualified in 2.1 and had a perfect trip behind her. So again, I have to look at that and say, geez, there's probably a pretty decent horse lurking in there. Now we just got to look. Now we get to see on Sunday. So we'll see how she does on Sunday evening. Pelican Al will remain out in the field for a little bit. Somebody said the other day, it's 2 months already. Just so we're clear, he's not racing in any stake races this year. So for us to be excited and worked up about Pelican Al, why don't we just focus on having the best form of Pelican Al? Yes, we plan on racing him in the winter and giving him a rest, much the same we did with Time Is On My Side. And I've been very pleased, thus far anyway, with the way we've been able to manage that time in 2024 with him. And if Pelican Al comes back and is as good a horse as we hope, or even a shadow of his brother, then again, we have some sort of schedule to look at and say, well, this worked. why don't we try this? So that's where we're at with Pelican Al. There's no rush with this guy right now. I want a horse that comes back sound and, flawless and feeling good. That's the horse that I want back in Pelican Al. Princess Dream trained today. I haven't got an update, but I told everybody, it's time to go to Mohawk, go mile and 210 with her and see how she feels. I know there was some resistance to that, but as I said to them, we are not taking all of summer to get this filly ready because everybody wants to drag their feet. Train her in 210 and then reevaluate. How does she look? How did she feel? Is she blowing? Is she a little tired the next day? Okay, go back in a mile and 210 or 212 again with her, and she'll tell you when she's ready to go a little bit more. But dragging your feet is not what you need for Princess Dream. So I fully suspect that she's been down to Mohawk either this week, either Saturday or Wednesday, to go that mile and 210, and then we can evaluate and reevaluate after that. But as I said, she should be ready somewhere near the end of July. Resolve Indeed, same thing. Harry trained her the other day. I watched her train at 2.9 at Stutzman's, which the track was deep. That was a good mile. Harry was going to, I doubt he took her to the track now that I think of it out loud. If she trained hard on Wednesday, I can't imagine he went to Mohawk with her today. So I'm going to say probably a couple little trips or a mile and 25 with her today is likely what she did. Rose Run AJ raced great last night. Didn't have the best week. I had well documented. I told all you guys I was concerned about his health. We ran an SAA test on him. Ultimately, I left it up to the veterinarian. They checked him out thoroughly on Saturday morning and decided to race him, and obviously they were right. 54 last quarter, 27-1, and looked very, very good doing it. The summer could be bright now. We all wanted to have a Sire Stake horse. I have no problem hanging out in the Stallion Series, and once we secured that spot, maybe trying to find our way into the Sire Stake consolation also. That would be neat. That's what I would like to do and hope to do with Rose Run AJ, but very happy with his race last night. Rose Run Alexander, super excited to race this filly on Monday. I cannot wait to see her race on Monday. She trained great the other day. She's coming in mildly tight. Zinging tight? No. But more than tight enough that I'm confident she'll do well on Monday. That's the best way to put it. Rosetta, I know a lot of my partners saying, Anthony, where's Rosetta? You scratched her the other day. That was supposed to be her first start. Just relax. Just take your time. There's no big rush. It's a long season in Kentucky, and there's a lot of stakes for Rosetta yet. We will race her this week. Hopefully, the problem being, the reason I gave you that little caveat of hopefully, is when there's stake races in town at the Meadows, and they start saying, okay, the 2-year-old trot, filly trot, that is PA owned or sired first. She is neither. So if we're not going to get her in, we may have to requalify her again at the Meadows, and then go from there. But we'll see. I have every expectation that she will get in this week and she'll race. As I say it out loud, if she doesn't get in at the Meadows, do we race her at Northfield? Do we go to Scioto with her? One way or another, we will get Rosetta race this week. I'm sure of that. She sits at the bar, as I put in the thing, rehabbing. She is still rehabbing. She's still sore on that leg, but getting better from what I've been told, walking. So we'll start maybe walking her in the jog cart up and down. She's going to take a long time to get this filly good. And I want to turn her out, but she has to be sound when she goes out. I can't turn her out crippled in somebody's field. So I would like to jog her, get her back where she's soundish, and then turn her out in the field somewhere in Kentucky. That would be my hope, my plan. Southwind Ibex, just too big. He's a gigantic animal. We just turned him out again. Already went in 2-3 or 2-4 with him 1 or 2 times. So he had some speed, he had some talent, more than enough for us to say, okay, let's just give him some time. He's a giant. Speed of Sound, same type of thing. Just a big giant filly. I like the filly. I think she's got a bright future, and I just want to give her some time to grow. The Priest. I had a great conversation with Adam Rucker today. They had a couple of Indiana breds that were really sick too. He had told me what they put them on, Jennison and SMZ tabs. So I'm going to talk to Dr. Latessa. Trained him the other day. I know Marco and a lot of my partners saying, where's the Priest? Where's the Priest? Well, just so you know, the Sire Stakes went 55, 56, and 56 last night. He is about 5 full seconds from being able to tangle with them. Now, that doesn't mean we can't send him down and race him in a maiden and the Indiana 2-year-old sire races. I get that. We can. We can't do it in 2.6. Can't do it in 2.5. He has to be healthy, sound, confident, and be able to trot in 2 minutes. And he is not there yet. He's almost there. He's getting there. He's not there yet. Trevino on Green, he's another one, right? We talked about big giant horses. Been in 2-5. I know Danny was tinkering with his shoes, shot him yesterday. I suspect, if I'm to be completely honest, and I think I've been leaning this way for a month, he'll likely end up in the field, which I don't have a problem with. He's a big, good-looking colt. His sister was one of our better horses we've ever had, to be honest. Great filly. If he can't trot, you guys just saw Chicago Hall at trotting 56, and even Century Legion at trotting 59, 2 minutes. If you can't do it comfortably, there's no point being there. And if Trevino isn't going to be able to do it comfortably, I'm more apt just to turn him out in the field. You don't want a horse that has a great work ethic just to turn sour. And that's what will happen if you continue to drill on them and drill on them and drill on them when they just can't quite get it right now. Wander Hill is in the sale on Monday. He's not going to be a stake horse. I don't have to really elaborate very much. That's why he's leaving. He's just a horse. Hopefully somebody will have him a race in the fairs, and maybe later on in the season he can do it a softer Buckeye or something. But for us, he's just not a stable horse. Westland Warrior. I talked to Scotty in depth about Westland Warrior last night, and I said, listen, he's in where he can do. He's 4-1. I would race him aggressively. That's how I trained him when he trained great. He responded well. I mean, you do what you want. You're the driver, but I would race Westland Warrior aggressively on Sunday. What a lady, what a night, trained great. I like this filly. In fact, I like both the Illinois breds now. Both of them trained great on Friday. They were standouts a bunch of horses that trained so-so on Friday, but these two did not. They trained very, very good on Friday. And Woodmere Betcha, again, just day to day, week to week, month to month with her. When the vet tells Jamie she's ready to go, then that's exactly what he will do. So with that, I'm going to let you go. Those are your 2-year-olds. I think I can get to the 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds pretty easy before we get to the Meadows. And I'll save my opening for the way home after today. And hopefully we have something optimistic to talk about. So with that, I will let you guys get on with your weekend. Hope you have a wonderful Saturday and Sunday. We'll talk to you all very soon.